This is the Debate Hour. And now in this corner, your host, Errol Mars. And in this corner, who gives a shit?
You know what's terrible? I don't think anyone would actually cheer for Errol Mars.
Get out of here.
I think everyone would be like, boo!
I don't know what anybody's thinking.
We don't know what you're thinking. That's what the problem is.
I do.
It's the hair grease.
You're the one who said you're not wearing any underwear.
I said I don't know if I'm wearing underwear.
Well, thank you. Well, that's information I did not need to know.
Oh. Well, you brought it up.
I did, but now I'm
always brings
starting to
it up.
get sick.
Well,
He always brings it up.
I'm starting to get sick to my stomach.
Well, you gotta have NyQuil around here somewhere, right?
I need more than NyQuil for you. Anyways,
All right, our first one starts with the New York Yankees, the core New York Yankees World Series team. Who was a better player on that team, Derek Jeter or Mariano Rivera?
This is so hard. But obviously you have to go with the guy that plays every day. Without Derek Jeter, you don't get all those iconic plays. You don't get all those leadoff hits. You don't get all the walks. You don't get all the guys that steal bases. I mean, Chuck Knobloch did a great job, too, for Trent saying for him, and he's never a guy that gets brought up. But without Derek Jeter, you don't get that guy every day that's going to do his job. Mariano Rivera is probably 1B, but Derek Jeter played every day. That's why you got to give the advantage to the guy that plays every day, takes 3-4 at-bats.
Mariano Rivera, it's not even close. The best closer of all time, arguably one of the best pitchers of all time. Shut down. How many games has he lost in a big game? I mean, maybe 2 or 3 that we saw. I know a couple Boston Red Sox games, and we saw him against
the
Diamondbacks. But besides that, he was as dominant as any relief pitcher we've ever seen. He was as persistent as any pitcher we've ever seen, and I don't think we'll ever see anybody like him. We'll see a Derek Jeter again. I don't think we'll ever see a Mariano Rivera. So it's Mariano Rivera.
All right, let's go to the NHL. Who was a better player, Glenn Anderson or Theo Fleury?
Ooh.
Theo Fleury is one of the greatest stories of if only he could keep it straight.
Stop doing drugs.
Right. He would have been a top 10 talent all time. He was that good. He was that great. And to be honest with you, even when he got older, he was still as effective, and he was great. And I loved that dance he did against the Islanders. It was fantastic. For the dance alone, he's better than Glenn Anderson.
I'm going to take Theo Fleury because I'm not a Glenn Anderson fan. Glenn Anderson was a good player, played for the Edmonton Oilers, had a very good career. He was a journeyman at the end of his career. Theo Fleury was also a journeyman, and I didn't like him because he was a Ranger. I liked him when he was a Calgary Flame. He was fun to watch, no teeth, loved to start trouble, small, pesky, fast. Theo Fleury would be my guy.
All right, let's go.
We agree. That might be a first.
Let's go to the NFL. Who was a better outside rusher, DeMarcus Ware or Terrell Suggs?
That's a good one.
Oh, T-Sizzle. It's definitely T-Sizzle. And a lot of people say Ray Lewis and Ed Reed were the backbone of that defense. Terrell Suggs made both of their jobs a hell of a lot easier. And honestly, I don't think they win that Super Bowl without him. He did a fantastic job. He's a Hall of Famer. Well, they're both Hall of Famers, or soon to be Hall of Famers. But I'm taking T-Sizzle over DeMarcus Ware.
It's DeMarcus Ware. And by the way, who drafted DeMarcus Ware?
Cowboys.
Who drafted
Bill
DeMarcus
Parcells.
Ware? Bill Parcells. And who else did he draft? Lawrence Taylor. Who else? Do you want me to go through the players that he drafted, a great defensive lineman that he's drafted? DeMarcus Ware is one of the greatest pass rushers we have ever seen. He went over there at the end of his career, went to Denver, and won a Super Bowl. I'm going with DeMarcus, baby. Woo!
All right. Greater point guards so far in their career. Obviously, both still playing. Chris Paul or Steph Curry?
God.
When the Curry's on fire,
God.
the Curry sizzles.
Oh, God, please.
Steph Curry is not only
Please.
one of the generational greats we've ever seen in this league.
What was that?
The
You had marbles in your
generational
mouth.
great. I'm sorry. Generational great.
Generational. Give me a
Generational
break.
great.
Yeah.
He changed the game forever.
yeah.
If you no longer can
So
shoot...
did I, by watching it.
I
I
don't
changed it.
understand.
Well,
Oh.
think about it. I was watching it. Just me watching it changed the game.
Oh, you changed from the Knicks to the Nets?
No, I just changed.
No. Oh, good.
At least I'm wearing underwear. I don't have to change it.
I don't know if I'm not or I am.
It doesn't make any sense.
I don't know.
How do
I
you
can
not
check.
know that you don't have any underwear on?
Because I just kind of woke up and this is how I felt like being today.
Well, don't tell your boss that.
I don't think they'll ask me these things. But anyway,
I hope not.
Steph Curry is a 2-time MVP unanimously.
Ooh.
He's got 2 rings.
Ooh.
He led the greatest single-season performance we've ever seen with 73
By
and
the
9.
way, he's got 3 rings.
And he's no, I didn't know if you'd give him credit for the third one because without Durant, blah, 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 blah.
He's got 3 rings.
He should have 4.
He really has 1
But
ring.
Toronto
'cause he's
got
only-
lucky.
Yeah, okay.
But Steph Curry is
Lucky.
the greatest point guard
Lucky.
we've
You
ever
hear
seen.
that, Speedy? Lucky. First of all, it's Chris Paul. He's the greatest point guard of all time, and if he wins this championship, he'll solidify himself as the greatest point guard of all time. Look at what he's done with OKC. Went to the playoffs with a team that had no other player but him, and he took him as a 5th seed in the Western Conference. This year, a team, the Phoenix Suns, that didn't even make the playoffs last year, he took him as a 2nd seed, and they're all the way in the finals and have a chance to win a championship. It is Christopher Paul. State Farms, baby. State Farms.
Alrighty. Who is a better left-handed pitcher at their peak, Johan Santana or Cliff Lee?
Oh, this is clever. Johan Santana, though, I think is the guy. Cliff Lee had a good 3-year stint where he was an ace. Johan Santana, from his 2nd or 3rd year in the league to when the Mets ruined him, was one of the best pitchers in baseball. So, and that was a consistent in and out thing. He had a great 8-year run, I'd say. It was about 8 years, maybe even 6. But I think Johan Santana had the better career, and I think he's got the accolades. Cliff Lee had a better 3-year run, but the 8 years outweighs 3 to me.
Cliff Lee was the better 6-year pitcher. He was the more dominant one. He was unbelievable. You couldn't hit him. And yes, Johan Santana had one of the greatest changeups I've ever seen, but Cliff Lee had one of the best curveballs I've ever seen.
Right.
Absolutely Cliff Lee, especially when he went to Cleveland and all those other teams, and Philly. Oh,
Philly.
fantastic.
He got better in Philly.
With Roy Halladay and with that pitching
Greatest
staff.
1-2 punch we ever
saw. Oh, awesome. By the way, rest in peace, Roy Halladay.
Yes. All right, back to football. Better all-time quarterback, Peyton Manning or Drew Brees?
Listen, I'm going to admit
You know
right
where he's
now,
going.
I'm going to say I have the unpopular opinion. It's Drew Brees, and it's really not close. The guy changed. Think about it. The guy was undersized, and everyone said, we don't know if we should touch him, right? So the Chargers drafted him, and he was kind of in and out. And then Marty Schottenheimer.
You sure you didn't draft him?
I would have.
I'm sure you would have.
I definitely would have. But Marty Schottenheimer was like, this is my guy. They're like, no, we got this Philip Rivers kid. Guy.
Oh, okay.
We got this guy. Guy.
Because you're making him seem like a guy. You know?
Well, he is a guy.
Maybe you're a guy.
He is the greatest pure
You better
thrower
be wearing underwear, that's for sure.
I don't think so. Anyway.
I'm going to have to ask his wife and his 5 kids.
Brees has 5 kids?
He's got a lot of them.
Oh, shoot. Well, he doesn't beat Cromartie, right?
Or Philip Rivers.
First of all, Philip Rivers adopts a lot of kids. I mean, he's got more adopted kids.
I'm glad you brought up Philip Rivers again.
He's a good man.
He ties it. Yeah, he is a good guy. He's a hothead, but he's good. So Drew Brees goes to New Orleans after a shoulder tear, and the Dolphins are probably kicking themselves in the
That's not the question.
Ass. Drew Brees broke how many single-season records? He's done how much? If Drew Brees was Peyton Manning's height, Drew Brees would have won 5-6 MVPs.
It's Peyton Manning, one of the greatest regular season quarterbacks of all time. He wasn't much of a playoff quarterback, but either was Drew Brees. 2 guys that really they weren't Tom Brady, but what they did in a regular season, 2 very good arms, very accurate arms. What both these quarterbacks did in the time that they did it, you're talking about 3 of the best quarterbacks of all time. And Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and Drew Brees. They both played against each other. All 3 of them played against each other more than numerous amount of times. But I think when Peyton Manning played against both those guys, he has a winning record against Drew, and he has a winning record against Tom.
When did Drew Brees beat Peyton Manning? The Super Bowl. Drew Brees beat Peyton Manning to win his Super Bowl.
Yeah, it wasn't really him. It was there was special teams that won that game.
Okay, but you still have to score points.
No, it was the special teams.
Oh, an onside kick at halftime is why Drew Brees beat Peyton Manning in the Super Bowl.
Oh, it was not just that.
And Peyton Manning throwing a pick 6 in Tracy Porter's lap.
First of all, the Jets should have been in the Super Bowl that year. So that's a whole nother story. That gets me angry, so don't bring that up.
All right, one more. The weekend crunch needs to hear it. Clyde Drexler or Kobe?
Oh, God.
Is this a joke?
To end it, they have to hear it.
You're trying to get me fired again. Listen, I'm going to say this right now.
Oh, God.
If you have any basketball intellect at all, do not listen to the next guy talk.
Oh, yeah.
Kobe Bryant is a top 5 guy in minimum.
He's on drugs.
Kobe Bryant
Jerry
is one
West,
of the greatest
Will
players
Chamberlain,
we've
Shaquille
ever
O'Neal.
seen.
I can name a bunch that I take
Kobe
over.
Bryant
Hakeem Olajuwon.
Couldn't
I could take all those guys over Kobe
If
Bryant.
Michael Jordan is your GOAT,
LeBron James,
then Kobe Bryant should be your, Robin to Batman.
I'll give you Robin.
Because Kobe Bryant, he'd run laps around Clyde
Number
Drexler.
16 of all time. That's where he is on my list.
That's fine. Then Clyde Drexler should be 50.
Here's why I'm going to take Clyde Drexler. I think people forget how good Clyde Drexler was. Look who he defended. Look at the teams that he had to play for and played against. You talk about Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan says the hardest player he's ever played against defensively was Clyde Drexler. And really, when you saw him go to Houston, it really changed the fortunate opportunities for the Houston Rockets to win championships. When Clyde went there, they started to win championships. Clyde Drexler is the guy.
And as expected, arguably the craziest debate war of all time.
I don't know about crazy. He loses, I win. That's not crazy. It always happens.
Now, you have to take that with a grain of salt. Everything Errol does is crazy. He's crazy himself.
Well,
he actually believes everything that came out of his mouth.
That's not true.
You believe everything you just said?
Absolutely.
You're crazy.
Everything when it comes to that, yeah. Why would I say it if I didn't believe it?
Right. That means you're crazy.
You know what? I think you need to find out if you're wearing underwear.